Hi folks, Mike Schramke with Larry Stovesand Equipment, America's largest Kioti dealer. With the new models that come out, people that are familiar with the Kioti lineup might not be super familiar with the the most recent offerings. And here's a question we get a lot. The CK10 SE model, and which is the super nice bells and whistle CK10, and the DK10 SE, you could get these machines with the same engine. For example, that's a 40 horsepower CK3510 SE. This is a 40 horsepower DK4210 SE. Both of them have 3-range hydrostat transmissions, and they have the same 40 horsepower engine. Now, you could get these all the way up to 58 horsepower. The CK10 you can get it in 35 or 40, but the two overlapping machines a lot of times are the CK4010 SE and the DK4210 SE. People would say, if they have the same engine, why do I want one or the other? It's a good question. Either one of them will easily operate a 6-foot implement, 6-foot rotary cutter, whatever, tiller. They'll run a 2-bottom plow easily. They're both available with backhoes. They're both available, obviously, in a cab or an open station. The CK10 is available in a shuttle shift manual transmission. It has a hydrostat as an option. These are standard with a hydrostat, so if you prefer a manual transmission, that's some consideration to give. So any of them will run a 6-foot implement. The lifting capabilities, typically Kioti, are large. 1,835 pounds on the CK10 series, which is stunning for a large frame compact. 2,500 pounds on the DK10. So there's one. So 1,800 pounds, 2,500 pounds. In the back, 3-point lift on the CK10 is 1,631 pounds. And on these, it's 2,700 pounds. So big difference on what it'll lift. And a lot of that is due to the tractor's, weight. This one weighs about 1,000 pounds more than this one. I guess the picture in my mind of the buyer, and through experience of what we've been selling, the guy or gal that buys a CK10 loves the fact that it's relatively compact, although it weighs 4,000 pounds and 4,500 pounds there. But it's nimble. It turns on a dime. It's extremely easy to operate, get on and off. Just a fabulous machine. If you wanted to run a 6-foot rotary cutter or 7-foot finish mower, and it's a great machine for that. The DK10, typically people that want to lift more in the bucket. 2,500 pounds is a pretty good amount of weight for doing loader work, and so there is some difference in there. The prices of these machines are not terribly different. These do cost a little more than these, but not as much as you might think. So it really does come down to, what do you want to lift, and which do you like operating better? Now, they both have a lot of equipment on them. Electric PTO, you don't have to pull clutches and pull levers and stuff like that. Electric over hydraulic PTO, tilt wheel, PTO cruise control, so once you get the RPMs where you want them, you hit the button, and even if you go through rough grass or whatever, it maintains your RPMs. The CK10 SE comes standard with 2 sets of rear remotes, 2 sets of rear hydraulics, so 4 ports. These are standard with 2 sets and 2 ports, 1 set, with a second set being optional. John, come on with me. The CK10 cabs and all of the DK and everything else we make come standard with Kioti's rear 3-point lift. Everybody loves that. It is not available on the open station, quite frankly, because you can reach it from the back of the tractor. As I said, it has 2 sets of rear hydraulic remotes. The CK10 also comes standard with telescopic link ends, so you only have to get close to your implement to hook it up. They're optional. If John swings around and looks at that DK10 right there, they're optional on that tractor. They're not terribly expensive, but they're not standard either. Both of them are luxury machines. You'll find rear defrosters, wipers, air conditioning, heat, stereo, everything a cab tractor should have on it. Very wide opening doors. One thing that people really like on the CK10, and John's about to show you where the loader control is, it's mounted on the chassis, right at your hand. A little bit nicer than the DKSE, which is mounted up on the loader itself. Certainly not awkward to operate, but a nice thing that the CK10 happens to have. In hydrostat, they both have the side-by-side pedals, not that goofy thing Kubota uses. All Kiotis are standard with skid steer mounts. So drop the bucket off, pick up pallet forks, hay spear, grapple, whatever goes on the front of a skid steer goes on this. Leveling rod is standard. 66-inch bucket, 5.5 feet. 72-inch bucket, and because it's able to lift a little bit more in weight. Both machines are available with low rate APR or substantial rebates, and Kioti doesn't permit me to post my prices online, so I would like you to call me or email, and I'll tag the email addresses if you want a quote. It'll be a good quote too. Both really nice machines. The DK10 has we had its original version around for a few years now, and everybody likes it. It's a relatively inexpensive, all things considered. They're not cheap, but they're inexpensive compared to the competition. Everybody loved the tractor, and they just said, "Man, I wish it had a hydrostat and a couple of other things, and like the standard rear remotes." And now it does. The CK10 by far is our biggest seller. There are people though that said, I would love this tractor even more if it had an electric PTO, tilt wheel, if it had rear hydraulic remote standard, if it had stuff on it, mirrors, whatever. The tractor really has no options. Everything on the CK10 SE is standard with the exception of the transmission. You get a dash mounted shuttle shift or a 3-range hydrostat. Other than that, that's it. It's when you'll see my quote, you won't see a list of this many options to make it usable. It has no options. By far, the CK10 is our best seller, followed by the DK10. So, if you would rather have something kind of nimble, but huge amounts of horsepower to run 6-foot implements or a backhoe, that's the machine. If you would rather be able to run 6-foot implements and lift more, that might be this machine. Plus, this one, most of the ones we sell here like this are 40 horsepower, but they also come in 45, 50, and 58. Weird number, but 58. Those are available, as I said, in 35 and 40 horsepower. It's nice to have these choices. We don't have to compromise and sell a guy or a gal a tractor that's slightly too big or slightly, God forbid, too small, and I try never to do that. But we have choices now. We've got tractors in every horsepower range, every size range. I've got cabs that go up, well over 100 horsepower. It's a good time to be a Kioti dealer, let me tell you. Anyway, just a brief thumbnail over, CKSE, DKSE, what's what about that. Give us a call, email me, send a smoke signal, whatever. Larry Stovesand Equipment. I got 2 dealerships in Nashville, one slightly north of Nashville, one slightly south of Nashville, both in the Nashville metro area. Give us a call, email us, and ask us about these really fine tractors. Thanks for watching my video.